Okay. So, needless to say, by the end of today's class, every single person, every single person that has joined this call is going to have, you know, all of these three things that I've listed on the screen from what we'll be doing today, right? You're going to have all of these three things, right? You're going to learn how to create, marketing graphics, flyers, posts. We'll look at websites. Of course, when I talk about websites, if your heart rate suddenly skips, don't allow it skip, right? Because this kind of approach will not require that you have all of the technical know-hows of coding and software programming languages and all of that. It doesn't really need all of that. We'll get these done by using simple prompts and simple tools, design tools out there. And then, of course, finally, we're going to wrap up the class by sort of looking again at, our LinkedIn, which is for today the world's number one professional platform. If you're not on LinkedIn and you're on this meeting, I want to trust that will change. It doesn't matter whether you're a student, it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter whether you are employed, whether as a full-time, whether it's a full-time employment or part-time employment, whether you consult in some way, shape, or form, all of those are irrelevant. You need to get on that platform. You need to have a professional profile, professional front using LinkedIn. That's where the top recruiters, that's where, the serious-minded people are, and you should get there to sort of give you that leverage. Okay, so having mentioned that, I'm just gonna share a few thoughts in maybe a minute or two. And you don't want to lose this part because I trust that this part should be that prompt, that push that everyone here is going to need to carry out all of these things, right? Now, before now, there's been, if you zoom out a little bit and look at, whether it's the Nigerian, space, um, you'll find out that one of the major problems that we probably also have in Nigeria is not so much that the ideas are not there, right? There are lots of people who have ideas, right? Ideas about what they want to do, about a particular product, how they can make a particular product better. Ideas about, a problem and how they think they want to offer solutions to different problems. We have ideas about processes in our workplaces, right? You found a process that is very repetitive, that is not efficient in any way, shape, or form. You found that process that needs to be more efficient than it currently is. So the ideas, these ideas a lot of times are not the issue, right? The issue comes to the execution, right? So the ideas are there, but people struggle a whole lot with executing this these ideas. And one of the advantages of artificial intelligence tools, products, is to help us close that gap, right? Is to help us close that gap that exists between ideation and execution. Um, and the deeper you think about this, the more solution execution minded you become, right? It could be a simple task, as a repetitive task, as simple as filling out an Excel sheet or filling out a Google sheet at work every day. You do that day in, day out, or week in, week out. Sometimes it's a whole lot of data that you need to enter, and you're wondering, can there be a better way of doing this? Yes, there's a better way of doing that, right?
Mr. Solomon, we can't hear you again. No. If you are talking. Sorry, I think Mr. Solomon is having little challenge with his network. Let's give him some minutes to join us back, please. We are so sorry. You know, there are times this network can be disappointing sometimes. So let's just give him a few minutes to join us again. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, apologies again for that. I mean, I think my network just acted up and took me out of the meeting. But I hope that, I mean, I haven't said too much without us hearing. In summary, what I was saying in essence is that um, AI tools out there, they help us, close that. Let's let's get very practical now. The very first tool that we would be using for today would be a very popular tool. Uh, I want to confirm. Your internet connection is unstable. Please, can we still hear me clearly? Because I'm getting a notification that the internet here is unstable. I just want to be sure. Uh, so I'm looking at the chat section. If you can leave me that information as a message in the chat section, that would also be um, good. Um, can we hear me? Can anyone hear me? You can.
Yes, we can hear you now. Can hear you, sir.
And you can react if you can hear me. Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll continue then. Um, so just give me a second. Let me share my screen. Still loading.
Oh, our facilitators network is really bad today, please. So I apologize on his behalf that we should please let's just be patient with him. You know, this network sometimes can disappoint one. So let's be patient with him. Thank you so much for your patience. So I hope he joins us back soon. Let me check up on him. Okay. I've reached out to him. He's trying to switch his network to see if he can get a better network with another line. So let's give him some time to sort that out. He will join us soon. Thank you so much. Well, while we are waiting for our facilitator to join us, I don't know. Did anyone of us online now try the tax assignment? How was it? Can you just unmute and speak up if you tried the tax assignment? How was it? What were you able to develop? Which of the AI tool did you use? Was it Chat GPT? Was it Gemini? Anyone? While we are waiting for our facilitator to join us, can you just share your experience while you were working on the tax assignment? Okay, okay. Similain said, okay, he's back anyway. Similain said she was able to do that and she used Gemini. Okay. So what was the experience like? Did you use the prompts? Like did you use any of the prompts that was shared last week?
So, hello, can everyone hear me now? I must apologize. So, I believe the issue earlier on was with my connection. So, but I've switched to a mobile connection instead of depending on um, other fiber solution. Okay. Um, I don't know if, okay, Barrister Fumi, I think you need to give me admin rights again so that I can go ahead and share my screen. That's because I'm noticing I'm unable to do that now. Okay, of course, I'll keep trying on my end. The moment I get that admin right, I'll go ahead and share. But so that we save time, we've had, I mean, today the network hasn't been too favorable for us, but we'll make do with the time that we have left. So I need everyone to go to canva.com. And if you can download that on your mobile device already, you can download it. It's available on the Google Play Store. I trust that the iOS store also has Canva, but I haven't confirmed personally. But I want to believe that they have one, just sitting there waiting for you to make use of it. So you want to download Canva, create an account if you don't have one already. It's a very powerful tool. Before now, we used to know Canva as. All right, thank you so much for that feedback. We used to know Canva as just a tool for flyers and all of that, but they've evolved ever since, and they're doing quite well when it comes to some of the AI solutions that they offer. I've used them myself. I'm a big fan of Canva, and I mean I can speak on a personal level as to the many benefits that comes with Canva. Okay, thank you so much, Ma. I'm doing that right away. So in a second or two, you'll definitely see me, sharing my screen. Okay, so I'm just gonna head on to Canva now. I'm gonna put up, where's my screen? Put a tab up there for us to make use of for today's class. I'm just gonna do Canva, and if you do a simple search, I mean, it's one and the same Canva. So you get canva.com, takes you to the website. If you are on a laptop, desktop, please use the website. If you're on a mobile device, just go ahead and use that mobile version. They work seamlessly on both ends. While this is also coming up, booting up, I would also want to open another website on the side, and that website is called Card. Card as in CARRD.co, right? CARRD.co, card.co. And we'll soon explain why we need, these websites in a second or two. The next I would like to open will be Framer, framer.io. So we have Framer, FRAMER.io, and then we have Card. Remember, Card is CARRD.co, and then we have Framer.io, and of course, we still have our Canva that we started with. Okay, while all of those are still coming up, we'll get to this design parts now, which is our first to do for today. I must apologize if the network is a bit lagging. I had to switch to my mobile network now. I'm hoping that this will, give us a much better experience. But let's see how that goes here. Okay, so one of the things that Canva can do for you is that it has a new AI feature that allows you to write descriptions, prompts, and then the AI will then go ahead to create suggestions of, the design that you had intended, right? That's one. A lot of people today don't know yet that you can also use Canva in today's world to also create websites, right? They have a tool for website creation. Not only do they have a tool for website creation, they also have tools for video creation, for flyer creation, and so on and so forth. So if you are someone who is not particularly gifted with, design, or you don't have any prior skills with designing, colors, typography, pictures, and all of that, you can just hop onto that AI solution that they offer and, make the best use of them. And I'm hoping I'll share a practical solution to using this with us. It was in that last class, I believe. I don't know if I mentioned in that last, okay, sorry, not in the last class per se. In the last training, I may have hinted at it, but maybe not extensively. For example, think of someone who is a freelance or an entrepreneur. AI opens a whole new opportunity of business models, business strategies. So one of the things you can do is with large language models, you can create a social media post calendar, right? And what that basically does for everyone is, depending on the constraints that you give to it, you may want to maybe post twice a week or once a week or every day of the week. And so you need ideas for a particular niche that you've discovered, or for your brand, right, that you want to start building. You need ideas on what kind of post should I put up on these days. So when you give that prompt, the large language model will generate a calendar for you that sort of itemizes what to post on, on those days, right? It could be text, it could be graphics, it could be videos, it could be, and the list goes on and on. Now that's for your own brand, right? Another route that you can go, right, is to also open, for example, it could be LinkedIn, it could be, I would also maybe go ahead and open LinkedIn. I'll just go ahead and open LinkedIn. And the reason why I'm opening LinkedIn is so that you can get an idea of businesses that need your solution, right? Someone shared a very interesting, what in my opinion I thought was very interesting business model. And all he said, according to that post that he did, was how does it make money? All he would do is go to Google Maps, right? And you get access to maps. You can get access to it on your phone, right? On the internet and so on and so forth. Or if you just do a simple search of, let's say, suya businesses around me, right? Because I've put that phrase around me, I think my location is location aware, so it will most likely give me suggestions from around the Ikeja, right? That's a simple Google search. Now you can look through the suggestions that it will give to you, businesses that it will give to you, and check to see whether they have a website. I mean, that's as simple as it can get. And if you think, oh, I'm not too gifted, I don't have skills in creating websites and all of that, you can check their Instagram page or their socials to see whether they have an active presence. And depending on whether or not they have an active presence, right? Let's, in a scenario where you found one that doesn't have an active presence, you can then make it a proposal. You can make that, simple problem that you found, that you've identified for that business, you can make it into a proposal for you, right? To, offer to them. you already have that calendar. You've created a calendar. So one of the solutions that you probably offers in your proposal could be, okay, I've gone through your Instagram page or your Facebook page, and I noticed you don't have a lot of presence there. You are losing customers, right? Let's help take care of that. Every week, I'm going to offer you 2 bespoke posts, right? It could be text, it could be graphics that will capture the essence of your business. Now, how are you going to do that? You're also going to create those posts, those things with artificial intelligence, right? A lot of people don't know that they can do these things. And so, okay, this is a bit wide. So it's giving me Global Court Suya Ikoyi. This is a business from Ikoyi, right? And you see, there's an Instagram page. Let me just open this. I don't think my Instagram is open on this particular account, the business account, but let's see if it is or not, right? This is the same Global Suya. You can check out their what do you call it now, their website to see whether or not they are active and so on and so forth. This, I think, would be maybe other solutions here and there. But the point I'm getting to is, by simply using Google Maps, the guy is able to identify, in some cases, 20 businesses in a particular niche that he can offer solutions to. Right? And he begins to call them, he gets their contact, and begins to send them messages with all of these proposals. As a matter of fact, he will go the extra mile to make a sample for them, right, on what it can look like. Now, if you look at bear in mind, I must, push out a disclaimer here. I do not have any affiliation with this particular business in any way, shape, or form. I don't know them. This is just for training purposes only. If you look at what they have, I would think that, this is quite good, but let's look at how frequent this, I want to believe, will be their last post. Okay, it needs me to sign in. But you want to maybe click on one of their posts and see when that last post was. So for some of these businesses that you find, their last post could be maybe 3 months ago, which you would agree with me, for entrepreneurs, is not so good for a business that wants to grow. Right? You want to put yourself out there as much as possible. The biggest industries today still spend billions of naira, billions of dollars on adverts, right? Coke would never, for example, that brand, they would never stop, or relent on their advert, even though everyone already knows that, that brand. Same thing, Pepsi. It's still every year they spend billions on endorsements, on new adverts, on every season that comes, every celebration, jollification season that comes, they spend billions, pushing out adverts. They just keep putting themselves on people's faces, right? And that's one way to go. So let's come back to how we can quickly generate something with Canva, right? A solution with Canva. And if you paid attention to the previous slide that I had, right, I'd even given, sort of like a guide on what you can try, right? Let's create a modern Instagram flyer for that. Let's say that Suya business that we found just now, right? And let's see how Canva can help us reshape that. Remember that I've just used Suya as an example. It did not have to be Suya. It literally can be any business that you've identified, whether by yourself or whatever case it is. So you have 3 options that you can quickly sort through. You have your designs, you have templates, and then you have the Canva AI. At least off their first landing page, you have those solutions. We're just going to stick with Canva AI. And then when we are done with this, we'll still go deeper into every design and see how you can infuse AI into every design that you come up with in Canva. All right, to sort of help us, speed up things, I'm just going to copy and paste that prompt, right? Maybe this time around, let's go with another prompt. I sort of created this prompt ahead of time so that we don't have to, spend a lot of time typing and all of that. So the prompt is a modern Instagram flyer for a Lagos tech meetup, right, in Victoria Island, right? Dark theme, neon green accent, photo of diverse professionals, right? Let's go ahead and create this. Now, in case you weren't paying attention, we've sort of switched the purpose. Now we're no longer creating for the Suya now. Now we are creating for example, a meeting. And this meeting can be sort of any meeting that you probably would have or are planning to have, or that you want, to create for your company, for all any events that they may be having. Okay, sorry, I'm on an organization account here. Let me switch to my personal Canva account. So in case you're wondering why this isn't allowing me use the AI tool, and that's simply because for that organization account, it's a premium account based on the Canva's educational policy, and they try as much as possible to limit student usage, as the case may be. So I'll just go into my personal Canva page. Okay, so while this is loading, okay, again, I must apologize. The network has been very unstable, very, very unstable. While that is still loading, I should point out that now you don't need to wait for me on your end. You can start, tweaking, those prompts, to suit your particular situation. This will make up some of the things we'll be required to submit for this week. We want to see the prompts that you use. We want to see what Canva generated. You can go ahead and save them, right? Save the flyer design, whatever design it comes up with, and you will share with us that link, and you can get access to it. Please come on. This is taking forever. It should have automatically picked my account. I think the network is making it so unreactive. We do not have time to wait. All right, so okay, so I'll just sign in there. Remember, what we are doing at the moment is we are using Canva, just at the top on the home page, on their dashboard, they already give us those AI tools that we can use to generate, these things. Allow me to complete this quick verification. Share with Google. But for every project you work on, every new design that you work on with Canva, whether it is from scratch, just like the prompt we have given now, it's going to create something from scratch, or whether you already have an existing flyer that you want to modify. We'll get to the part of modifying things in a minute or two. Once this comes up, we'll quickly get to the part of modifying things inside of Canva, also using those the AI tools or offerings that Canva gives to us. And again, these are things that if you learn how to use in your workplace, even though you are employed as, something totally unrelated, if your office does not have, a good social media presence, it doesn't kill to offer them, to take on that role to just, generate these things maybe once a week, twice a week, depending on how flexible your workload is. And these are some of the things that helps your management to perceive you as, more valuable, right? And you become more valuable to your organization. All right, so I'm going to come Canva AI, remember, or not using the template and we're not starting a design from scratch, I'll just go to Canva AI and then I can just drop that post. Of course, if you click on this expand option, you get more option on sort of tweaking the AI, creation that you want, right? You can tweak it in some ways, but let's just go ahead off the top and get something done quickly. Struggling with the internet is so messed up, so laggy, and it's not, giving us the best experience whatsoever. Let's just be patient with this. Okay, finally. So I'm just going to go ahead and click submit. I'm not going to wait for all of these to load up. This is the more options that I clicked on. It's going to give you more options to choose from here. Maybe the size. Do you want to use images? Do you want to use, some of these things that you can tweak to get a more refined output, right? So you see, it's giving me options for, do you want this to be a design, an image, a document, code, a video clip, and so on and so forth. I think it must have taken out the previous post. So I'll just do that again. And if you're working with an already existing document, Canva also allows you to, attach a reference. Maybe you already have a design that your company used last year. They're having that same event again this year, and you just want to tweak the design in some way, shape, or form. You can upload that last flyer, and then it will just go in and make all of the edits that you want. All right, so it's already jumping into action. Again, I must apologize for this very slow experience. While we wait for this to come up. Okay. So for SMEs, small businesses, if you deal in the consumer market, some of the prompts that you can give here is maybe to create a new product arrival post, flyer. You have a new product in store. For all businesses, all workplaces, all organizations, you must have noticed this thing that has now become a culture where you get, your staff birthday or celebration details, and you find that organization would usually create a flyer for them just to celebrate them on those days. Those are some of the things that you can also do here. You can create, a birthday design with a placeholder, right? With a placeholder on Canva, it will come up with beautiful designs, and it will leave that place where you just slot in the picture. It will leave it, empty, and then you can always just, swap those pictures in for, your staff pictures when those days of celebrations, when they come around. Those are other things that you can do also. And if you begin to add these things to your skill set, some of the things that you do already for your company, if your company doesn't do them already, it makes you even much more valuable. Okay, sorry, that didn't quite work. Untied for now. I can almost tell you for free that this is most likely because of the very laggy internet. It took so long to generate something. Okay, so I think the internet is better now. I just used the same prompt, and now it's coming up with something in a minute or in a minute thereabouts. This should come up. Again, I must apologize. But if you have this on your end already, you can already begin to appreciate. You can already begin to appreciate this solution, right? You don't need to be an expert designer to, to do this. All it takes is just a little bit of intentionality with the prompt on what you want, and then boom, you get, the designs, the suggestions that you want. Okay. While this is loading, I'll come back to this, but let me switch over for a second to this other account where in this case, I want to pick, let's see, templates. I want to pick a random template, and then I want us to quickly experiment with the AI that is built into every project, right? What we just tried just now, we've not gotten into the project yet, right? We just used AI sort of like a scaffold to quickly generate, push something out for us, right? And that's not the only use case. Sometimes you may already have a project, existing project. You may want to, quickly use a template, drag things around, change some shapes, change some colors, and that's completely fine also, right? So let's just pick, one project and see how we can use AI to. We'll go into the project and see how we can use AI to, sort of make it better. So whichever comes up first, we would go ahead and turn to. Yeah, still both loading. Again, I'm 100% certain that this is just because of the network. If you've done all of this, if it's working quite faster on your end, using the mobile device, a huge thumbs up to you. And already amongst your options, amongst the tools that you will find there, you should already see that Canva has a magic, a magic pen tool, right, that can help you maybe change the content of a particular text on your flyer. Maybe it says,
We are so sorry. The internet is really affecting Mr. Solomon today. So please kindly let's give him some minutes to join us back. I also at a point I was locked out. I had to quickly change my internet provider so that we can have a smooth one. So there are times whereby these things are inevitable. So please, let's just give him a few minutes to join us again. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much. And I hope you're enjoying the class. If you have any observation or question, you can use this opportunity to drop it in the chat box. Observation, question, please kindly drop it in the chat box. We will really love to hear from you because this will guide us on subsequent webinars and training that we need to organize and areas that we need to work on so as to serve you better. So please feel free, comments, observation, you can drop it in the chat box or send a personal message. Thank you so much. Let's give him some minutes. Let me reach out to him. So it's still having challenge joining us. Though I've put a message right on WhatsApp. Its network is really really bad today. Once again, I am sorry. So please let's give him some more. Ah. Wow, the network is really bad. He's trying to join us again. He didn't know he was logged out of the session, so I had to reach out to him that he was already out of the session, that he really needs to join us back. So I don't know the prompt for the Canva. If any one of us have tried it, we can just drop the picture in the chat box. If you open your Canva and you've pasted the prompt he suggested, just okay, he's coming in his back now, trying to join into the audio. So if you have tried the Canva prompts that he just discussed right now, we can try as much as possible to drop whatever we design in the chat box. At least let's see, and let's look at it together. I was trying on my hand, but also having challenge with the network. But let's see how it goes. It's here, but it has not joined the audio. Okay, so let's give him some minutes. Okay, it's back. Let me assign cool rights so I can share his screen again. Just a minute.
Okay, apologies. I was here I just kept on talking and talking. I did not even know that the internet already took me out. Uh, I'm so sorry for this very terrible experience. I mean, I wish this was a little bit within my control, but it's just been a whole lot. Okay, so let me try to share my screen again. Um, so this was what, the prompt came up with, right? The modern Instagram flyer for Lagos Tech meetup in Victoria Island, dark theme, neon green accents, photos of diverse professionals, right? And so you have, several options to pick from. If they don't meet your taste, you can keep, going or refining the prompts, right? But if you do find one that meets your taste, for example, maybe let's do this. Um, you then have an option to use Canva to go into this project and then, edit it in any way, shape, or form that you want. Remember, I said that what we did initially is just using off the top, on the top, sort of like a scaffold. We have just decided to use the AI tool to sort of flesh out our idea. But when you do go into any project at all, whatever the project may be, Canva allows you to also infuse AI. And one of the things they allow you to do is to use their magic writer, right? So you don't like, what that means is when we get into this project, if I don't like this, this title here, Lagos Tech Meetup, and I want something else, or I don't like this call to action, register now, and I want something else, I can click on them and take them out and use that AI writer to generate something.
Uh Olaya, sincerely speaking, network is not really doing us good today. Truly, I'm actually enjoying the class too because I've tried using Canva to design too. And then most times when I use the AI prompts, I'm unable to edit it. But now it's guiding me on how I can edit it. Sometimes when I use the AI prompt on Canva, it will just give me the picture and I won't be able to edit the picture. But he's showing us another way whereby we can edit the picture, probably the text, and change some things. So it's getting interesting, but let's hope the network will get better as we go on. I've also informed him he's out again. It's just that anytime he's out, he's not aware. I don't know why the network is like that today. Last Saturday, we really enjoyed the class without, we didn't have this interruption throughout last Saturday. So please, let's give him some time to come back, and we hope this time the network is stable. Thank you. Thank you, Olaya. So let's give him some time. Then while we are waiting, you also can just open your Canva up and start designing something. You know, trainings like this, it's always good when you try it on immediately so that you don't forget most of the things that you're being taught. Just open your Canva and start trying some of the prompts. And let's say while we wait for him, that will keep everyone busy while we wait for him to join us again. Thank you all. I'm so sorry. He's really having serious challenge joining again. He just sent a short video of himself trying to join on his system. He's really having a serious challenge. Please, let's just give him some time again.
Okay. Sorry everyone. I'm back. I mean, it hasn't been the best of days, but um, I mean, let's not allow that get the best of us. We'll just what we'll do. So I had to start thinking immediately about, what we can do to redeem the time. So wherever we get to today, right? Whether we stop at the website, then leaving out the LinkedIn, the AI CV LinkedIn, and all of that. What will most likely happen is I would have to still I'll put together like a resource that I will share with the house, um, just to redeem all of this time that was lost. Hopefully, even in that resource, I would also sort of brief through some of the things that that I may have that you probably did not hear me say because of all of this network back and forth. And sincerely, I do hope that make up for this. Of course, if there's any other way you think we can make up for the time, I'm open to those ideas. All right, thank you so much. I'm seeing Ifedayo Titilayo. I think that's Miss or Mrs. Forgive me. A modern day flyer of climate change training at the University of Lagos with a background of trees, atmospheres, climate, greenhouse, and earth. The color should contain, okay, that's a constraint, green, white, and blue. There should be a picture of the United Nations Secretary General stating one key point, why we should save our earth. Now, as interesting as that is, I mean, okay, you send the image. All right. I was going to even try that out. So, okay. I mean, if you can, I would love to see that because, I mean, that caught my interest. I was immediately going to copy and then, just try that out. But I'll be so glad if that's something that you can do. And so let me just jump into the Canva editor. I'm keeping my fingers crossed now that, I mean, this won't pull too much of bandwidth and, sort of take us out again. Okay, let's hope for the best this time around. Well, thank you so much for following along despite all of these issues with having. I did also want to show us, now that we are going into the project itself, into this Canva project, I was hoping to show us the Magic Write tool, how to use that Magic Write tool to sort of change the write-up in a situation where you don't like this particular write-up, Lagos Tech Meetup, you can change it using that Magic Writer and give it some prompt and it will create something for you, whether it's a call to action, a brief description, and so on and so forth. I'm going to quickly close that conversation. Don't feel too bad, right? Because remember I said I'll put together that resource and I'll share with us. I'm going to cut that conversation there, and I want us to quickly jump to the next thing that we have. So if we're able to get these 2 tasks done out of the 3 that we had, I think despite all of everything that has happened, that's a good place to, to conclude today's meeting while we wait for the resource. Now, when it comes to websites, right, gone are the days where you need to start learning a bunch of languages, learning all of the intricacies of the technologies, that goes behind the scene for websites. There are tools out there today, and these are just a few. There are tons of tools out there today that are better than this. In some cases, even, are more expensive. But remember that we've chosen these tools because we considered and the ease or the fluidness of use. All right, so if we can all sort of look at the chat box, Ms. Ifedayo Titilayo, she's put the picture, it's still loading on my end, but hopefully if your network is faster, you should be able to see what a prompt generated already. So let's look at websites. Now, while we talk about websites, I would immediately quickly go on to tell you why you need a website. You need a website for your business, no matter how small it is, right? If you are starting a business today, you need a website for it today. I mean, even in the advanced world, websites are now considered as, they are considered as, what do you call it now? Foundational information that you need for any business, right? They are a key part. Whether all you are selling is tiger nut drink, you need a website. If what you are selling is for the small businesses, I know there was a time where people started to do this cooking thingy and all of that. You need a website for it. Don't let anyone deceive you. No matter how small you think it is, you need a website, right? And you have some tools out there that you can take advantage of. The first is Framer. Framer is a wonderful tool out there that you can use to, you can use their AI tool to generate this instant website. They also offer, free hosting. Same thing for Canva and same thing for card.co. They offer free hosting. Wow, I love these designs. Finished loading on my end. I'm just going to download it. I love this design. Let me download it. I'll open it on my end and hopefully just quickly show it on the screen. I'm going to save that in downloads on my end. So these three options are sort of like your go-to whenever you need a website to come up very easy and very fast. And for these websites, you can create landing page, portfolio pages, profile pages, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. Even for yourself, if you don't have any business, you are a student, you need a website. The earlier you get it, I won't be exaggerating if I tell you that when you do go to the job market and you are sort of job hunting, one of the things that if it is present on your CV or resume, it gives you a leverage over every other candidate applying for that position is a website, right? And now what kind of content do you want to put on that website? For a student, oh, you're not working yet, you don't have years of experience, you've not done this, but you can begin to put things like your projects, right? The project that you've handled, that's your final year project. If you are in the science where you have your IT, I mean, pictures from those experiences can make up some of those things. I mean, things that you worked on. If you were privileged to serve, you were doing IT in a place that was hands-on. If you have, some of those things, begin to list them out, and then these are some of the things you want to showcase on your website. That's your personal website as maybe a profile website or a portfolio website. And I've seen this being done in a myriad of ways. I've seen people who have created personal websites for job hunting. So on that website, they have sort of a description of what they do, right? The skills that they have and so on and so forth. And that was the website, and they began to share this website. So when you open it, you already see, the candidates that you probably, that will most likely be your that you'll be sending your next employment letter to. This was what Mrs. Fedayo did, right? It came up with this beautiful design from the prompt that she put in. Save our Earth together. Join us for our climate change training at the University of Lagos. Ecosystem, greenhouse, Earth. Register today. It's even giving a registration link. Let's make a difference together. We can. Now, in this particular instance, I don't know if this is our website, right? But in case you want to change this, if you go into that editor allows you to, to touch things up. Okay, this unfortunately didn't eventually come up. This is okay. I think the network is getting better, but let's see how you can touch things up. Now, while these are loading, I would immediately go to car.co. I think I have that. Yes, somewhere. Yes. All right. So when you go to car.co, this is what you would find, right? It's a simple interface. Let me switch to full screen. It's a very simple interface, right? Whether you are accessing it on a mobile phone, wherever you are using, whatever you are using to access, it's a very simple interface. And that's why my preference a lot of time always goes to this. Whenever I need to whip up something very quickly, right? I will usually, have a preference for card.co. Remember, the card is spelled CARRD.CO. Okay. So I can open a dashboard. You can create an account on card.co. So these are examples of how, the end product will look like. So imagine this that is scrolling past now. This can be a simple profile of you with all of your social pages, how people can contact you. This is another profile website that tells people about you, get in touch, has your email address, maybe your phone number, your Instagram handle, and so on and so forth. And you can see all of these beautiful designs that they already have that you can make use of out of the box. So let's just go to choose a starting point, right? So let's just choose a start point. So I'll click on choose a start point. And the next, by the way, well done, Ms. Titilayo. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful design that the and I believe that was due to your prompt. So let's just go with something very simple. I'll go for today with the profile, right? So I'm just gonna streamline the results with a profile, a simple profile. Everyone should have this. If all you gain from this lesson, this training is this, that you have a website that has a profile of you. I mean, it's more than enough to celebrate, right? We'll celebrate you for that. And so you have several options here that you can choose from. Anyone that meets your interests, you can choose from. Whichever looks more pleasing to you, you can choose from. This sort of, I think, showcases some things you can. There's a whole lot to pick from. Maybe let me just go with something simple from the top here. I'm just going to choose this. I'm going to select this. Let's just select that for the purpose of this training so that we can still utilize our time as efficiently as we can. Okay, looks like browser closed. Would you like to restore the last session? No, let's just make do with this. Okay, so this is card.io. This is the website. You already have a template that you can choose from, right? Now, all you need to do is just begin to swap out the dummy text. We call them dummy text because if you look at it closely, they look like they make sense, but they don't make sense, right? They're just random characters. They structure it in the way a typical reasonable text would look like. That's the algorithm behind this dummy text. How do humans usually put words together? And so if you look at it from afar, you would think it makes sense, or you think it's in one foreign or strange language. No, these are dummy texts. They are not real texts. They don't make any sense in any way, shape, or form. But they just give you a placeholder, right? A placeholder. Now, for this particular part, you want to have maybe like a very punchy about you section, right? Something that tells the users about you and so on and so forth. This would be maybe a call to action and so on and so forth. And this, of course, is your job title, what you do best. Are you a graphics designer? Are you an engineer? Are you an architect? Are you a student specializing in maybe, are you a science student of biochemistry? And of course, this is your name. I'm going to just leave the name that way. And then these are all of your socials, email, TikTok, Facebook, X, and Instagram. So a typical way to edit this would just be to click on it. When you click on it, you get to, you get a place where you can enter the paragraph. Now, in case you are not also experienced with all of this, best thing to do, you already predicted in your mind. Just take it to ChatGPT or Gemini. Ask Gemini to give you something, right? Ask Gemini to generate an about you section that is extremely punchy, and so on and so forth, right? So let's just take this. Let's take this, and I'm just going to open Gemini. Remember in that last class, okay, we can sort of open two pages at the same time, which is one of the new features of Google. Of Google Chrome, which is their browser. So, all right. So I copied those dummy texts. And the reason why I copied the dummy text is because I want to count how many words. I want the AI to count how many words for me. So remember, let's put the context. You are a professional resume writer. Oops. Okay, we're still good. Let's still keep typing. F writer. professional resume writer. No, I don't think it's a resume writer. I'm thinking now. There's a name for, there's a particular profession that specializes in writing. I can't remember. I mean, it's coming to my head now, but for writing things like this, you would normally need a particular, I can't remember what that name is, but let's just go professional resume writer, who specializes in punchy about me sections. So count, so I'm giving it a task now, count the number of words in the following text, and generate a punchy about me section for a I think it's a fellow from the post that you put up, Resume Lagos with background in threes, for a student, maybe let's just go for a student studying or working on climate change, for a student in the university working on climate change as a project. So I'm just going to put the dummy text in quotes. I'm going to bring this to the next line. Of course, I can add more constraints. Let me add maybe another constraint. Make it as world-class as it could be. So, so I'll just, use whatever, comes up. Okay, so good. So climate, innovator and data-driven change maker. So I think this is punchy. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm coming over to Framer, and I'm just, no, not the name now. So let's, oh, I see. I'll just move this to the side now, and then I'll change this, right? Climate innovator and data-driven change maker, and then the name of the person, and then let's just copy disruptive university student specializing in sustainable systems and climate resilience. Currently spearheading high impact research project focused on low carbon, urban, renewable energy, blah, 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 and then let me just stop here. Of course, I'm going to need to take out a few things here. So I'm just going to paste this. I think this is too much to read. So specializing in currently spearheading a high impact research project on. So low energy, I'm just going to take on low energy carbon urban planning, and then leveraging geospatial. I really don't know what all of this means, right? Leveraging geospatial analysis to translate theory into tangible, scalable solutions. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to ask, Gemini again to summarize that even much more so that I have less text to choose from. All right, this is getting better now. So disrupting university student driving climate resilience through low carbon urban planning, expert in geospatial analysis, transforming academic theory into tangible, scalable solutions. Those are good. Now, I can then begin to come to my different icons, for example, the X icon, and then I copy my X link. If you have one, you can choose what color, Instagram, if you have an Instagram page, I'm just gonna collapse this. I'm done with X, I'll go to Instagram. I'll put my Instagram link, my Instagram URL, and the URL is usually this thing that you see at the top, right? Instagram.com/ it's usually / your username. So you can just copy that. So I'll just let me copy this entire thing, and I'm just going to put it in here. And then the color stays the same. Same thing for Facebook and so on and so forth. And then you can immediately click on done. Now, this part is supposed to hold your image, right? It's supposed to hold your image. This is the part where people may get thrown off, right? But the solution is just at their fingertips. Now, you may have noticed on your WhatsApp, or you've seen people have those professional images, right? It is not that they went to a photo shoot to get those, right? You can also do that with, artificial intelligence, right? You can take an image of you, a rough image of you, as long as your face is showing whatever shirt or clothes you're wearing. You can take that to a tool like maybe ChatGPT and ask it to refine that image and give you a professional headshot. Let's see, I think Google has Nano Banana. I'm just going to look through my Gemini here and see if if I find any image that isn't, in my opinion, so good that we can maybe refine. Let's see, is there any in the camera roll? Okay, so I have some in the camera roll. This is me in the car. So let's just maybe use this, and I'll ask it to refine this image and generate a professional head shot that could be used for my profile on LinkedIn and my website, right? Now, I know I have not applied, because of time, I didn't apply context and constraints here. But if you want to, you can also do that. You may want it to pay attention to certain details. Maybe put me in a suit, whatever, dress code that, sort of meets your industry, for example, I believe would be good. For a footballer now, I would think that maybe something in your sporty wears would make a whole lot of sense, as opposed to, you appearing on suit. Okay, so it's gone ahead to generate this. Again, notice that it's tried to sort of mimic the shirts that I was putting on. Look at the shirt I was putting on, right? And again, if I added a constraint of maybe put me in a suit, as the case may be, it would have done that instead. So I'm just going to save this. And then I'll save this on, let's just go to downloads. Let's just save this in downloads. And I'll keep it as unnamed. And then I can come here to pick it. I'll just upload it here. And in a matter of, I think that should be less than 20 minutes, maybe in 10 minutes, you would have gotten yourself a very good website. If for nothing you have something that you can use in a professional setting. So I'm just going to crop this to whatever level you think makes more sense to you. Because of time, I'll just accept this. And there we are. Of course, you can put a title, optional text, links, and so on and so forth. And there we are. We already have something that's, already good to go. And if I click on this, I can see how this will look on a mobile device, right? So on a mobile device, this is what people will see, right? On a mobile device, that's what they will see. And on the desktop, this is how it would appear. I know I did not touch this call to action. Maybe this call to action would have been maybe contact me for more information, or let's talk, something, catchy and interesting. So I'm just going to publish this site. I'll give it a title. Let's climate changer. Just going to copy that, climate changer. I'm going to save that. And yes, I'm going to use Card, likewise, Framer, and some of these other tools. They give you free hosting, right? They help you host the website free, right? The only thing is that whenever you are giving out your website, it will carry their domain name, which is this card.co that you see there. But if you don't want their card.co, you can, of course, this will just mean you are paying, extra, right? Paying extra to get those other domain names, extensions. Right? So it says this name is not available. So let's maybe call this climate changer Olivia. I just picked that from the name here, Olivia, right? And this is available. And the moment I click on publish, that website would immediately be published. And at anyone on your end, you can click on and view the website. So I'm just going to copy that and put it in the chat section. Okay, I'm noticing a message. So geospatial analysis is about analysis of space mapping based on geography and environment. Thank you so much. So if you go ahead and, oops, sorry, I didn't copy. That wasn't the full URL. Apologies for that. So this is the full URL. If you go ahead and click on that, you would immediately, see this website that we just created. So I'm going to have to click on it on my end, and voila, in less than 2 minutes, look at the smooth animation that even came with it. In less than 20 minutes, we have, a professional website. Again, remember I said, I just picked this. You are not limited to just using this template. You can use many other templates that you want, anyone that suits you, that meets your interest, right? All you just need to do is just swap out the things here and there. You are good to go. And you can share this with anyone, right? Usually, what I would normally do, because I want to hide this card.co, right, is you can also, or even though this is not part of the course content, you can go to bit.ly, right, bit.ly, right, and then put in your website, right? You can put in your website and then shorten it, right? You can shorten it, recustomize it using bit.ly. So that way it will reach something more customizable as opposed to reading climate change olivia.car.co, right? So you can customize it to maybe CC Olivia, climate change Olivia, that's CC Olivia or bit.ly/CC Olivia. That can get you, no one is going to penalize you for not hosting with custom, domains and all of that, .com, .ng and all of it. No one is going to, but as long as they can find you online, that's pretty much, does the job. That very much does the job. And with that, that's a very brilliant place to conclude our talk about, websites, right? and how you can use AI tools to sort of quickly put together, a website. I only demoed for Card, and you will notice for some of us that followed this demonstration, this practical session, you will notice that Card works seamlessly also on mobile devices, right? Unlike these other tools like Bubble and all of this, where things could break a lot. Framer, for example, isn't so good on mobile devices, right? But Card works pretty much very well on these mobile devices, right? And you can create different things, right? Websites for different things. And these are also some of the things you can offer to your clients. If your client doesn't have a web page or landing page, or at least for anything, that's kuli business you are doing, get it a web page, get it a landing page, right? And begin to share those things, right? With your prospective client. Because we have, so like I said, I won't go to the third module, and that's the module we're hoping to talk about, the career launchpad. Let's look at our LinkedIn series and interview prep. We would instead, I love that interview prep. It's also a very exciting one. But I would want us to use this maybe last 5 minutes, because we are fast approaching 4, to maybe take the example from Framer instead. Hopefully, I can also maybe show us a thing or two. A thing or two. Framer.com. Let's see. Let's do sort of, I'll also do Zobo here. Zobo businesses around me for entrepreneurs around us. Or I'll do another search here for 20 SMEs around Ikeja. I want to see what Google would come up with. I would have done the maps so that we can, even get a much better experience. All right, so let's just see what these would come up with. So I've changed the Suya to Zobo, I've done a new search for 20 SMEs. So apologies again, it took me out. But what I've done is I'm joining with my mobile device at the moment. But I think because of the time, it's a very good place to conclude. I was hoping just before the internet took me out, I was hoping to also show us a quick demo of Framer.com. And, that works a little bit different from the card.co. Um, And that I say a little bit different because for Framer, you get to sort of give it those prompts, right? As opposed to, clicking and choosing template and then adjusting, swapping one thing for another and all of that. So whichever meets your interest in terms of which is easiest to use. If you think Framer is easy, give it your prompt, everything you want. And if you think otherwise, that using card.co, I went with card.co because that seems to be the easiest, very fluid with mobile devices, no issues at all. You just pick whichever you think best. But aside that, I think it's a very good place to wrap up today's meeting. I know that Nigeria has dealt us heavy blows today. The internet has not been too friendly, unlike the first run of this meeting. But we are grateful all the same. At the least, we're able to still pick up one or two skills in design using Canva AI, and of course, skills with websites. I would, as a closing remark, want to encourage everyone to don't be passive with these, skills that we've spent this much of time, putting together and learning, right? Don't be passive with them. Actually, the more you do them, the better you get, right? Don't be passive with them. Try out those prompts. Try out those prompts for different case scenarios, whether it relates to you or it doesn't relate to you, right? Because the clients and the people that you will be working with, the task that you'll be using these tools to solve may not be tasks that are designed or fashioned for your comfort zone, right? A lot of times there will be tasks that are beyond your comfort zone where you then need to sit down and see, okay, how can I use AI to, to achieve this. Yeah. Having said that, thank you everyone for today for making our time to join. I know we have, yes, just a little bit less number joined today, of course, partially because of the time also, which is 2 to 4. If we had done 4 to 6, very sure a lot more people would have been on the call. Sincere apologies for the network today. We don't take your time for granted. I hope that you were able to learn as much as possible. So this is me signing out. I haven't forgotten, just like I promised, I'll put up a resource to cover the third part, and also, of course, do like a quick summary of some of the things we couldn't cover today. And I hope that will be enough to sort of help us cushion the effect of the terrible network experience that we had today. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege facilitating for the last 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks already. My name again is Solomon Ejishaki, and I'll hand over to Mrs. Fumi. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Despite the network itch, but we're able to achieve a lot today. Thank you so much. Ifedayo Titilai, I really need to appreciate you. Thank you so much. You were at the last class, and today you were also active. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ifedayo. Thank you also, Precious Mudashiru, for staying till the end of the session. It wasn't easy looking at the way the network was throwing our facilitator in and out, and but you still stayed behind. And I'm very sure that you both have learned a lot today, and you will be able to apply all that you have learned today. So please, we would like to hear feedback from you as to the 2 days training. You could drop it on the WhatsApp group, or you could send it to me personally. We would really love to hear from you. Feedbacks from participants helps us to improve, and we can do better. Like Mr. Kola always said, probably if the timing had been like that of last week, maybe we would have, have more audience. But due to the time constraint, we have he has other activities scheduled that he needs to attend to by 4 p.m. So we have to make it 2 to 4. So after all said and do, please try and work on the tax assignment and submit if you can. Then we'll share the video on the group and also via WhatsApp for others. Then the other resource videos that Mr. Kolawole promised, once I get it, I will also share it with everybody. Thank you so much. I also want to appreciate Mrs. Olushola Ibidapo-Obe. That's my boss. She was able to, okay, Timilen is asking how will the tax be submitted. Mr. Solomon, can you drop your email address on the chat box so that they can send it to you directly, please? Drop your email address on the chat box. Then I'll also share with others that want to submit their tax assignments. Okay, thank you. Please just drop it in the chat box. So I want to use this opportunity to appreciate my boss. She also joined the webinar, Mrs. Oloshola Ibidapo-Obe. Do not convenience, ma. Really appreciate your time, ma. Thank you so much for your support, ma. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. So without much to say, okay, that's the email address, edwardafrica@gmail.com. Please, can we just note that down before we sign out? Thank you, everyone. So that's how we'll be closing for this year. So probably next year we'll have roll out our webinar for the year. We'll plan that and we'll also let you know we'll be having subsequent webinar starting from next year, 2026. So wish you all a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Hope you had a wonderful time with us today. Though we had low participants, but yeah, it's worth it. I've learned a lot, and I hope to launch my website very soon. I think I need to work on that with what I've learned today. I need to do something like that. So thank you, everyone. I hope we all have gotten the email address. So thank you. See you some other time. Take care. Bye for now. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.